Home of the famous Bronte sisters, the picturesque village of Haworth in West Yorkshire is an undisputed literary mecca, attracting visitors from around the world. With its historic cobbled main street, iconic parsonage and rolling moors, this Airedale village exudes a vintage charm that makes you feel you've stepped into another era. Hi everyone and welcome to our channel, The Wanderlust Way. In July 2023 we were lucky enough to spend a perfect weekend in this charming part of England, and this video will share with you everything we managed to fit into our schedule. You can expect a covering of the village centre that bursts with independent shops, pubs and restaurants, and we will also take a peep into the Bronte Parsonage and the area surrounding it. Join us as we roam the streets just as the Bronte family would have done around 167 years ago. We'll show you a glimpse of where we stayed the night, plus a great breakfast hotspot. Then we'll round the video off with the vintage-style Haworth railway station, famous for its connection with the railway children. So please sit back, relax and enjoy the video. If you do enjoy it, please give it a like, that will help it to get reached further afield, and do subscribe to the channel if you can to see similar content in the future. Thank you. We headed straight to the main street. Our destination was the Bronte Parsonage Museum. On the way, we found a fabulous selection of independent shops, cafes and pubs, and we did stop off at a few of these. It is the perfect spot to laze away for a few hours. This is cute. The next stop on our visit was my most favourite shop in the whole of Haworth. The Cabinet of Curiosities. It's a family business. It's been open nearly 30 years. They restored it to its former glory as a Victorian druggist and apothecary shop. Over the years, they've collected many of the magnificent antique shop fittings you will see inside the shop, and the interior has evolved and developed along with their collection. The cabinets and units have been salvaged from chemists, grocery shops and museums and provide the perfect setting for their handmade candles, soaps and bath powders, along with their new range of extraordinary gifts inspired by the Cabinets of Curiosity or Wonder Rooms of old. It's also got a link to the Bronte family, this shop, because it is supposedly where Branwell Bronte used to buy his laudanum. I loved exploring the historical past of this village, and you can see reminders of it all over the place. Dating back to at least the 1850s, these stocks are located on Haworth Main Street, just outside St Michael's and All Angels Church. They were originally located by the Black Bull and were used to punish people for wrongdoings. They were relayed to their current site in 1909. Just a stone's throw from the stocks you can find even more shops, including the little gem that is Mrs Baton's. Described in 2013 by the Yorkshire Life magazine as a traditional sweet shop that isn't especially big, but it is especially wonderful. If you can't find anything in here that you like, stop looking, because it probably doesn't exist anymore. In this treasure trove of sugar, you can find over 500 varieties of sweets, including over 50 varieties of licorice, 10 fruity flavours of bonbons, and all your other childhood favourites. They've been supplying the locals and visitors with sweets for as long as anyone can remember. The morning soon ran away with us, and it was time for a spot of brunch. Pavé Charcuterie and Bistro is fortunate enough to be located at the top of Main Street in the very heart of Haworth, and having had a peep through the window, we decided to take a step inside. Charcuterie and cheese boards are central to their menu, and we were excited to see they did a pick and mix selection, meaning we could choose our very favourite items from their deli to indulge on. There was an outstanding selection of food, and with an excellent wine list to pair it with, it was the perfect place to relax and enjoy. We really did not want to leave this place, but it was time to get up and explore the Bronte Parsonage. Home of the famous Bronte family, the parsonage was the home they shared. It is now owned by the Bronte Society and is a museum dedicated to their lives and work. I have done another full video on the parsonage, so I'm not going to go into any more detail on here, but if you did want to watch that, you are welcome to it, and you can find it over on the channel's main page. What's also fascinating about Haworth is the church and graveyard. The oldest part of the present church, which is the lower part of the tower, dates back to the 15th century. The church that we see today was not as the Brontes knew it. In 1879, the Reverend Wade, Patrick Bronte's successor, had the old church demolished, leaving just the tower. It is estimated that 40,000 people are buried in the churchyard, and the burial registers go back to the 1645. In 1849, the graveyard, being overcrowded and badly drained, was affecting the already poor sanitation in Haworth, and Patrick Bronte called for an investigation and for improvements to be made. By taking a short walk through, you can see how crowded the graveyard is, and there are fascinating spots where you can see some Victorian Gothic graves here. There is a plaque with reference to the Brontes, but they are in fact buried within a vault at the church, except Anne, who was buried in Scarborough. After all that, a refreshment was in order, and so we decided to explore some of the watering holes that Haworth has to offer, starting first with the White Lion. For nearly 300 years, the old White Lion has stood atop Haworth's cobbled street in historic splendour for all to see. In the 1820s, William Garnett, the innkeeper, would serve the Reverend Patrick Bronte local ale for a modest fee. Now owned by the Bradford family, it has an atmosphere of nostalgic tranquillity amidst a Yorkshire gem. After a swift pint in here, we descended next door to the King's Arms to sample their famous Bronte beers. The King's Arms. Formerly a 17th century manor house, the King's Arms can also be found at the top of the main street. With an L-shaped bar, it features 6 hand pumps selling 4 Bridge House beers with house names taken from the Bronte family members. We couldn't resist giving this a go and so shared half a pint of their famous Anne, Branwell, Charlotte and Emily beers. You can find a full review of our Bronte beer tasting over on our TikTok page, The Wanderlust Way. Leaving the King's Arms, we then decided to finish off our little pub crawl with a swift drink in the pub most frequented by the ill-fated Branwell Bronte, the Black Bull. The Black Bull is supposedly one of the most haunted pubs in Yorkshire, but I'll be covering that on a separate video, so please do subscribe to the channel if you'd like to be notified when it goes live. One of the oldest pubs in Yorkshire, with its history traced back to the 16th century, the Black Bull is now a pub, hotel and restaurant, which also serves a great selection of drinks. It was the last pub on our trail for the evening, and then we headed back to our accommodation in the Haworth Old Hall Hotel. So the following morning, after checking out, we headed back into the village and we had a breakfast at the Villette Cafe. This is a brilliant little bakery which also offers meals, and we took some sausage rolls and some steak bakes and a bit of cake home with us as well. After that, we got back in the car and we drove down to the Haworth railway station, which was a real treat and capped off our trip perfectly. The Keighley and Worth Valley Railway is a unique 5-mile branch line railway set in the heart of West Yorkshire, running heritage steam and diesel trains from the industrial landscape of Keighley to the stunning Bronte country of Oxenhope. Here have a number of films been videoed, including Brideshead Revisited, Another Brick in the Wall, Pink Floyd, Swallows Amazons, and of course, who can forget the classic 1970 version of The Railway Children, which was filmed here on the KWVR. Television programmes also made here include The Great Train Robbery, 2013, Spanish Flu, The Forgotten Fallen, 2009, The League of Gentlemen, BBC, Last of the Summer Wine, Housewife 49, A Touch of Frost, ITV, The Royal, YTV, Some Mothers Do Have 'Em, BBC, Born and Bred, BBC, and several period dramas including The Way We Live Now, Sons and Lovers, and North and South. More recently, the railway was used for locations for BBC's Peaky Blinders, but in September 2020, the KWVR burst onto our TV screens on the newly released version of All Creatures Great and Small. It's been the home of various TV commercials, and there are a range of events throughout the year. Please do visit their website to learn more and start planning your trip. Again, thank you so much to everybody that's watched the video. Please do like it to help grow the channel and subscribe. It's completely free, but it will mean you'll get to see more content from us. So without further ado, thank you and have a great day.
Wow, look at that.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Should we wave at everybody? Can you wave? Oh, wow.